What's up, guys? It's John at National Sports Entertainment, and I figured I'd go and cover our Monday games for the NFL now because obviously we got Christmas Eve and Christmas coming up, so I have family coming into town. I'm sure other people are going to be busy, so I'm not sure exactly how active I'll be on those couple days, but I figured I can knock this out. I also wanted to cover the NBA holiday games, Christmas games, whatever you want to call them. They call them the holiday games. But I'll be covering them probably tomorrow at some point. Probably might try and get them out early this morning or early next morning, like later tonight. That way, again, I got my sisters coming in, a couple cousins in about, I'd say like 12 hours. Gosh, maybe a little bit longer, but it'll be a little busier. So anyway, I hope everybody does have a nice Christmas, nice holiday, whatever you celebrate. And I figured I'd go into the Monday games. If you watched my last video in that, I went through all of our games through Sunday, including Sunday night, so nothing's changed there. It does look like we were on to something with Rudolph coming through on the Christmas weekend. I find that interesting. They just happened to start this guy again. I believe the last time they started him was November, December, something like that. I could be wrong, but he hasn't started, I think, since the issue with Myles Garrett. So that could be an interesting dynamic that they're setting up. I don't know if they play again, but it's definitely intriguing. But anyway, off to a decent start. We got the Rams on Thursday. We got the over. They did cover. It wasn't an official play, but I mentioned I thought them covering made way more sense because it's all about playoff ramifications. So I think we're going to have a good week because the Steelers are following that same suit as far as the winning team makes way more sense to be the Steelers if you're going to have a bunch of teams in the playoffs at the end of the year. So, and then later tonight, obviously, I went into that. I think we might get an upset. I like the Chargers to cover at the least. And we got the over there. So anyway, the first of the three games is the Raiders-Chiefs. And for this game, I absolutely love the Raiders to cover. I'm not going to take the money line. I really think I think it holds value because the way they're pushing Pierce, the way they're pushing the meltdown, it definitely could happen. And, with my luck, it will. But after what you see what the Raiders just did, and the Chiefs have not been impressive the last couple of weeks, even that win against New England, they barely covered. I have a feeling that you might get more people on the Raiders money line than typical, and I just think they're going to give the Chiefs this win, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I do think they're going to keep Pierce looking good, just because to me that is what makes sense. Now, for the second of the three games, I do have an upset. I honestly think that DeVito is going to win because he's a Jersey boy. They're in Philly, obviously. Basically the same thing. And I think it'd be a crazy upset. The way they're pushing this guy is pretty interesting. And Rodgers isn't coming back. I feel like, I think Marco is the one who brought it up that they always want somebody to talk about in New York. So you might get some people on this money line that are behind DeVito, but probably not a lot. The people on DeVito are probably going to be his family, so i.e. the mob. If you've seen the guy's agent, then definitely know hiding the fact that he's in the mob. But yeah, I think this is a great game for an upset. So, it's a Christmas debut, all these different things. I like the Giants to straight up win this game. I wouldn't go crazy on it, but I do like it. And then we got the Ravens 49ers. And what's interesting about the Christmas this year is on Christmas, both of my Super Bowl and my finals picks are meeting. And they're calling it potential Super Bowl matchups, potential NBA final previews. So it would be interesting. Now, for the NBA side, it's the Lakers Celtics. Now, the Lakers just won the in-season tournament. Makes me not as hot on them to go to the championship. But I had the Celtics winning anyway. So, most likely I have the Celtics winning. I think it makes more sense. But my point is, that kind of takes some steam out of that. And the fact that these teams are meeting now kind of takes steam out of Ravens, Niners, but not really. A lot of these teams are going to have met each other in the season, and it doesn't, not every year, but a good portion of the years. But for this game, I do like Baltimore. My reason being, I think the Niners are winning the Super Bowl. And the Niners right now, the way they're looking, there's going to be so much money on them. So you had them start off the season looking unstoppable, then a 3-game losing streak where you saw vulnerabilities, and within those 3 weeks, people were already off the Niners. So it's going to take something pretty devastating to get people off the Niners again. I could see a McCaffrey injury. I could see a Purdy injury. I really could. A quote injury for Purdy. Something like that. Nothing serious, but where they're repeating the same narrative going into the last playoffs. Oh, are they going to have an injured Purdy? And yeah, I just think if the Ravens beat them down, then again, maybe the Niners lose 2 of the next 3 weeks. And all of a sudden, people are all over the Cowboys, Eagles. That's kind of how, if you watch my bracket, I did my playoff prediction bracket. I don't have the Niners finishing as the top seed because I think they're going to be ousted. It's the only way to get the money off them. Now, again, maybe they don't win the Super Bowl, so that could be the plan. But since the beginning of the year, since preseason, actually, Ravens Niners was my pick, so I'm going to stand by it. And I do find it interesting that, again, both my picks are playing on Christmas. You obviously have previews, but this seems a little symbolic. So, yeah, we're getting 2 games where we're getting good odds. Obviously, we're getting here. You're going to get over 200 plus 200, taking the Ravens straight up, and I do like them straight up. And then in this Giants game, we're getting crazy odds too. I almost want to do the Raiders too, because then if we hit even one of the 3, we should profit. But Raiders is going to be a cover. It wouldn't hurt to put a little bit on the money line, but I do think that it's going to be a close game where the Chiefs do cover this game. So officially, I like the Raiders to cover the 10.5. The Giants for one of the biggest upsets of the season, and then the Ravens in a pretty big upset. And I think this would get people finally understanding. I think this will get Lamar his MVP, because right now it's a tricky situation, and maybe that's what they want. They want it to be confusing where people can debate it, kind of like the college playoffs, which I'll be going into soon, by the way. There's a couple of them that look pretty interesting. A lot of interesting rivalries. Most of the ones up till now didn't seem that appealing, but the ones starting like the week after Christmas are pretty, in my opinion, WWE-esque. But yeah, as far as the Ravens-Niners, I think giving the Ravens this win makes just a lot more sense. Them winning the conference makes more sense. I don't think that the Bills or Chiefs are going to, so I don't think the Chiefs even can at this point. They might be able to, but it just makes sense for me that we get the Ravens looking really strong. People questioning Purdy again, questioning the Ravens. And then I wouldn't be surprised again if the Ravens lost 2 of the last 3. So the narrative would be, they, like the Bulls basically in the 90s, they either just ran through everybody and won, or they weren't so good and they lost 3, 4 in a row, or 3 out of 4, whatever the case may be. So I think the narratives kind of write themselves. Like I said, we're off to a pretty good start, and anything can happen with the Steelers game, but I'm pretty sure we're going to hold that cover. And of course, if we get the Chargers upset, that would be a huge win. Again, I got them covering as well. So, and we got the over. So we got 3 plays there. But as far as Monday, I wanted to knock them out, just because, like I said, we got the NBA games, which I'm going to go into. I'm going to look at the lines, and then over the next 2 days, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be busy. So I thought it was a good time to get them out now. So hopefully we have a good rest of our day. If you saw my last video, then you saw all of our picks and what we have going on for tomorrow, and I think we'll have a good week. So take care and happy earnings. And if there should be the NBA video, but like I said, if I don't have something out, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate. I hope you have a great holiday. Take care and happy earnings.